everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. We're back again with our podcast, A Day in the Life of a Security Leader, where we talk about the real side of cybersecurity, not just about the tools, not just about the headlines, but the people behind it all. Today's episode is little different and honestly one of my favorites. We're pulling back the curtain on something we don't talk about enough. What does a day in the life of a security leader actually look like? Because from the outside, it sounds impressive: board meetings, strategy, big decisions. But from the inside, it's all alerts, ambiguity, trade offs, and sometimes control chaos. So today, we are diving into the real stories, the uncomfortable truths, and the moments that don't make it into LinkedIn posts. I'm joined by someone who has lived the reality day in and day out, leading security in complex environments, navigating risk, building teams, and making decisions when there are no perfect answers. So welcome to the show, Shiva. Thank you so much. It was great. It's great to have you on the podcast. Hi, Shiva. Thanks for joining me today here.
Hi, Vandana. Thank you for having me here. And it's honor and privilege to be part of this wonderful platform. Uh, I also see having conversation with you equally or contribute various communities and proven track record in the security field. And I'm sure our conversation and experience learnings should help the audience or participants today. And looking forward to having good conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And our conversations have always been candid. So I will start off with a very candid candid question about if I shadowed you for a day, what would surprise me the most and what would disappoint me? Because people always talk about good parts about cybersecurity, but they tend to miss that yes, cybersecurity has a lot of challenges as well. So if I start shadowing with you, and want to be a cybersecurity leader, what would be the best part and what would be something which I have to make sure that I remember?
Okay, just a step back before we come back to that question. Security, when I started way back in 2001, right? And those days, security is like a good to have kind of feature. Uh, One is it could be expensive and may not be able to everyone afford, and it is a add-on cost and premium products, things like that. Only they were factoring. And those days environments are very controlled. If you look at organizations, people used to work from office. Only handful of senior folks would have the mobility usage and things like that. So all our traditional systems, right? It could be firewalls or access list at a router or switch level, and some of the group policies at system level. It suffice the security controls. So my curiosity and focus towards security domain was keen. So I was continuously uh, focusing various skill sets which is required to the drive various programs I have built based on cybersecurity and improve resilience, overall cyber maturity, written so many policies for the governance point of view, worked in regulated environments, and led teams for the ISO 27000 readiness and business continuity, disaster recovery drills, and whatnot, and many things. If you name it, any security domain, I think I got an opportunity to work all the enterprise level security verticals. That's the journey, I would say. And the coming back to your question, I feel in security, one is you need to be build the trust. Since you that shadow thing you mentioned, if whether somebody watching or not watching, I should be what I am, right? And at a leadership level, it's not about the skills, it's about can I trust this person, right? And that kind of credibility you need to build, and that comes with your ownership, taking control, or control in terms of the taking the situation. Mostly we all thrown into the high pressure instance, and business crisis, right? That point in time, how you react, how you support really your teams or colleagues to overcome or stabilize the situation and have a transparent communication to your customers, stakeholders, or senior leaders so that they can take informed decision to minimize the overall business impact or sometimes which could avoid hefty penalties. So trust element is, I would say, is a key, and how you transparently communicate and uh, enable the business while supporting the senior leaders is my stake.
Right. Now, when you're working and making sure that you're communicating decisions to a lot of people, especially when you talk about the hardest conversations, there have been cases where, especially in cybersecurity, if a breach happens or something else. So, what's the hardest conversation you had with your team as a leader, or have you ever said no to the business itself? In any case, because you've been speaking with business stakeholders, leaders, founders, so have you ever said no?
See, that's a very tough question. No, in terms of not directly saying no, because see, ideally, your boss is boss, and the business is the for them. Business is always priority, and customer delivering the things to the customer is uh, critical, right? But uh, in that process, if they taking that non-secure path, eventually what we are hitting, are we just delivering insufficient product to the customer, which security gaps? Ideally it could lead to a penalty or a breach and losing the customer trust, then eventually the overall brand or organization reputation damage, right? If you can articulate well and make leadership understand the impact which can create rather than just meeting the time to market and delivering product, and if you can able to give that clear picture, I think when they initially say no and eventually they understand the overall repercussions and big picture, and there were instances the no I by explaining these things I converted into yes. So it's not easy, as I said, but you need a number of conversations with them. And there is always, when the decision, one or two people is not deciding things. There are bunch of folks will be joining, and everyone will have a different thought. And then you have to draw the facts and go with the proper risk assessment. It's not about the personal, emotional, or personal opinion level. It's all on the data-based decision. But you should convince that such a way that what is actual impact which could damage the organization than just enforcing a control or a policy. With that, I think I have done such kind of conversations, and of course, few we have to let go, and but 80% I was able to convince them.
Right. Now, this is especially from my side. How do you switch off when your job is literally to think about the worst case scenarios that can go wrong?
That's very natural. I would say it could be professional, it could be personal, because uh, in that also I see a merit. That kind of for a moment, it's not about negative thinking. Probably that angle will help you to prepare well in the worst scenario. Okay, I would see it that way, but I try to keep positive thinking and positive mindset wherever possible. But eventually, as you rightly mentioned, brain is not in our control, and we always think that what went wrong in case, right? So for me, if that kind of thoughts, if it is arriving, probably note it down and see how you can counter attack them, right? That's one aspect. Second, think as less as possible going things wrong rather than how can I turn that into a better outcome. So many appreciations, if you look at in any level, be it engineer from a entry level to a senior level, normal appreciations comes when you work in crisis only, not in a normal operations, you how much great you do it, it's not turned to be a big thing when you work in a real crisis. Yes, during working crisis time, it will be enormous pressure, and how calm, how composed you are, you will go through enormous pressure. But how you overcome and make that instant resolve, and then after that, what you get that appreciation, or that will really always stands out, and that is where we are exist, right? If everything is smooth and going well, why they need people like us? So every level, whenever an instant or situation or breach comes in, I think the preparedness would be very much helpful. And second, your approach to the problem solving, right? Structured method, and sometimes what you have fixed it, how you have resolved it, and documenting them, and educating the team to leverage those old practices, and having proper root cause analysis. If not assigning to problem management, it could be hardware issue or a software bug, right? uh, Calling out those learnings clear and documenting, and having dialogue with the teams, they understand where it went wrong, and so that they don't end up with the repetitive issues. If in case it is occurs, then a faster resolution. So these are the things, the structured approach, I feel it could overcome a negative thinking, as well as when the situation tough, I think we could overcome. This is my something I follow. It's not just I'm giving yan like that, but this is what I follow at uh, ground.
Amazing. I think that's something which all of us should follow as well. And then, as you said, that there is good and bad to everything that we do. So we have to
Yes.
think from a positive perspective that it's a good for us.
And to add on that, a periodic update to your senior leadership. So what it helps them, they'll feel that okay, things are, even though it went wrong, situation is in control, and somebody is trusted person is leading. So
Yeah.
that is where our credibility stands out. Okay, if Shiva takes care of this instant, yeah,
Mhm.
we can be relaxed. So he will ensure that things will be taken care. So that's the credibility we need to build, and have the transparent communication to them what went wrong, and give a proper executive summary post the incident. And that's how I think you build the trust with your customers as well as your extended leadership.
Yeah. Now, when we have started building trust, but now the age is, or the era is about AI, how has your role or they changed with AI and agentic tools that are around? Because there's so much discussion about it. Like every day, there's something new that comes up. And in cybersecurity, also, there's so much changing. So, has it affected your role in a way that you have to start keeping up to date with AI, or it's something which is good to learn for now, and then I am sure that this is going to help us in the longer run? So, what's your take on that?
No, I'm a big believer of any new tech comes in. Um, I think that is a positive to the future. Okay, it's not that something new tech coming and it is disruptive and people will losing job. I'm not advocate that. Instead of that, how we can leverage that and make best use of it and improve our efficiency and productivity. These are the angle I look at it. Uh, I'll give you some of the examples which I have seen. Way back, uh, I think a decade back, IPv6 was new. Okay, that point in time, IPv4 people were saying every device will lose the IPv4, and everything is moved to IPv6, right? But that didn't happen. In fact, IPv4 even today, it's the connections are very stronger. IPv6 is to accommodate the much more IP addresses. That's the end goal, probably not to let go the IPv4, right? Then later, software defined networking came. At that point in time, people said all admins or network engineers and some of the, because Cisco has a lot of tech users like who takes care of the networks, even CCIs and or designing and do they have a tag all CCIs and things, because I have given CCI those days. So people has even that level of senior expertise also has a uh, job threat, because software defined networking just takes care of everything. But that didn't went fly. Okay, there could be a feature, probably after that people realized, and it didn't took fly as that people spoke about it. Then came cloud. When cloud also, there was a huge hype, and even today, some of the critical functions is not adopted cloud. Yeah, there is a, uh, I mean, adoption is there, but not mission critical such applications. It's more like cost versus speed, and small and medium business groups which they don't want to have invest more on their own dedicated infrastructure, having own team to manage. That kind of hassle don't want to take. So that's where cloud is helping. So cloud is another element to your on-prem, right? Not completely enterprises, because every time something new comes, adoption is not that easy, because companies would have invested huge by then, and knocking everything one shot and putting newer things, it's a cost, and right, every penny is counted, and it's not that easy to wipe everything and keep accommodating new. One is tech, and you also need people to adopt it and use that tech, and you need a skilled people to handle it, right? But bigger organizations, they do it a phased manner. They don't want to leave it behind, because they also need to sell that we are current, and we are also AI enabled. So people will take pockets. And as uh, I mean, in the leadership role, not only leadership, no, any tech person or non-tech person, as long as you're in industry, it is good to have that continuous learning. It's not everything you need to get a expertise, but you should know how it works, what it is. And because when you're leading the teams, if somebody asks you, you should able to understand and guide them, right? For that, at least you should have that knowledge. For that level of knowing things is sufficient. What I see in industry for AI, it's not fully adopted. I would say at some tools and things like that, where mundane works or log aggregations or faster decisions and improve overall productivity. That's where I see pockets of AI adoption, but people redeployed in a better task to do, rather than what people are talking about outside. I'll try to give one analogy. Um, Many people prefer to have a bank lockers, right? And probably people have less jewels only opt the lockers, and the people very rich they'll have lockers at home than keeping things at bank, right? So enterprise also I see that way. People has huge crown jewels of data or assets, mission critical information, IP, such kind of information. They don't feel comfortable keeping it in cloud, because even today nobody knows how the data gets replicated, where it gets stored. Of course, they might be have MOUs, SLAs, and things like that, but it is just a blind trust. You cannot uh, go, because that's a not uncontrolled environment. You can't see where your information getting replicated, where it is getting stored, how encryption keys are secured, how much sure you are they don't have tampered keys and things like that, right?
Before we wrap up, if you could redesign the role of a security leader or cybersecurity leader from the very scratch or from the beginning, what would you change in that?
um, this is something, I mean, not only security leader or anything. First, you should have the conviction whether this role is for you or not, right?
Mhm.
It's not for a uh, looking somebody, it is something interesting, not like that. First, You should have that. Yes, this is my end, kind of. This is my future goal or my career goal.
Mhm.
In this path I wanted to travel, right? It's not for jazzy roles or titles. It's not as easy it look outside. There is a every job has a pressure and things like that. But once you have taken this path, you should not look back and change it. uh, be it could be any profession for that matter, because many times when you start initially it look attractive, and it looks easy, and then you travel some distance. That's where you see the real challenges, and that's where real testing happens, and then you survive and continue to learn and grow. Then you will come to a point, and uh, especially in our career, it's a lifetime learning. There is no pause to it. And if you are not that kind of person, like, one time I have done my education and like government, I mean, not to say that, I mean, some skills that people can survive forever with that. But this field is not like that. You have to keep improvising various skills. It is not only tech skills. You should be communicate. If you're not able to communicate, how you convince your leaders or your partners or your customers, that is another. Then you should able to negotiate with various people. Negotiation skills also equally important. Then you should have a compassion, valuing people, having ethics, and then you should have a commitment to deliverables. Then things you need to improve continuously. It's not like one time done and dusted, right? You should be calm and composer. Sometimes things may not come to your favor. So there are many capabilities you need to acquire in terms of to be a success, especially in our domain. I would say, Vandana, and I could go on actually, and yeah. But one thing, your character is important. That's where you build the trust and credibility, and you should have a compassion, valuing others, and understanding your. So you should be supportive and enabler, and people should able to approach. Okay, Shiva is there to help me, rather than something he will penalize for the what I'm doing it, right.
Right.
And you should ask good questions. That question should think them why deeper and come to better solutions. And yeah,
This is such an amazing conversation, and honestly, we need more of these conversations.
thank you. Uh,
Behind, yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, yeah, no, no, please.
I was just saying that behind every security strategy slide, there is a person making those tough calls, balancing risk, and carrying a lot of invisible weight that you just shared today. That you have to take care of so many things, say no, but in a very, very polite way.
Yes,
Yeah,
because end of the day, any every person uh, seeks respect,
yeah,
irrespective of what they do, what role they do. It could be front desk person till to your entry security person. Everybody, irrespective of role they, I mean, in terms of the job they do, uh, the moment you uh, respect them, right? Uh,
right.
the kind of receptive respect will be much higher. That will stay forever. Today you might be working in that organization as a senior person.
Yeah,
Tomorrow, even if you exit that company and somewhere surroundings they meet you in other places, still they carry that respect.
yeah,
Otherwise, if you are just like a leader with the tag, people don't even look at it. So I believe the first vision and respect for their age and what they're doing, because in an organization every person has an equivalent contribution. That's where you have the successful companies. Of course, cultures and things are getting changed these days, but bigger companies are built on the cultural aspects. That's where they were strong for decades. right? So I value those kind of aspects and the long term results than short term and shortcuts. Vandana.
Oh, this is so amazing. And I think people should follow ethics, and that's where it all starts. Cybersecurity is all about having trust and ethics.
Yes.
Thank you
Even our
so much for
certifications also, that is paramount. I mean, uh, this is my proud certification, CISSP. I always wear that because with a great uh, uh, effort I earned it. So, and ethics is one of the key aspect we follow in this certificate. I mean, of course, any certification, yes, it is equally has that importance, and I mean it.
yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me and sharing the wonderful story and your journey in cybersecurity.
Thank you so much. I hope our conversation, at least people who are listening now or later, help them, and even one or two persons, get some insights. They would help them. It will be really worth our conversation. I feel, and I'm sure it happens. And you've been amazing, and you've been doing various community level programs, and happy to be partnered in one of the occasion, and looking such uh, collaborations going forward, and wish you all the best, uh, good strength, happiness, and more power to you, Vandana, and all
Thank you
the
so
best.
much. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yeah, and thanks so much for everyone who's listening. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who thinks security leadership is just about tools and dashboards. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, audience.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thank you.
Bye bye.